Hi, my name's Bruce. I'm the co-founder of GoGet Car Share. We're Australia's first car sharing service. We started in Newtown in June of 2003 with 3 cars and 12 members as our first customers. The idea really came from a local need, which was living close to the city and only needing a car now and then, and having this choice between either owning a car that you never use or living without a car and having the inconvenience of not being able to get around. We were really, looking at this not just as something that will work for us, but also a way of actually improving the local surrounding streets and getting people out of their cars, and hopefully, our long run dream is that actually street space can be reused for better purposes. Well, when we first came up with the idea, to be honest, there was a lot of education involved. A lot of people didn't understand what we were trying to do. So there was initially just confusion. So it took us quite a while just to actually get the service up and running and get people familiar with the concept itself. And then it was really about talking to councils and seeing if they shared the same problem, which was the issue with parking. And it came back to us really strongly that for most inner city councils, the majority of their time is spent dealing with this one issue. I think the thing that we got right was to start small and make mistakes and experiment with the product. So we didn't wait years and years and refine a fully functional, ready service. Instead, we just got out there with a couple of cars. We got our first initial members. We stayed really close to them, and we learnt from them what they needed, and how we could basically improve the service. And we built the systems around those customers and that need. One of the big things we noticed from the start was that while the driving bit of the car is the fun bit, there's a whole bunch of things that for a private car owner are a real pain in the ass. Like the parking, the registration, the insurance, what happens if you have an accident, all these things. So the key to how we developed GoGet was to make all those things our problem and let our drivers just have the pleasure of the driving. The key thing about the name GoGet is we were really trying to nail the simplicity of what you do with the cars, and we wanted to make sure that the car wasn't in there. So it's not GoGet Cars, it's really about the trip. In terms of developing the brand and GoGet, the entire business has really been grown organically. So from the ground up, it started very small, and we did everything ourselves. As the business grew, we realised that we couldn't actually just count on one marketing strategy or one particular channel to achieve the growth of the business. That it actually had to be quite a complex marketing and sales strategy. So a lot of it had to be done in-house. The first area that we really moved to working with an agency was on PR. The key thing we learned is picking the right people to work with. A business that's grown from scratch, you have a particular culture and a very defined way of doing things, and that agency has to breathe and speak that same culture. One of the critical things about a creative brief that I've learned through mistakes really is never make assumptions. The person needs to know what you're trying to achieve, like where this has come from, so that they can then, they can realise, rather than a specific isolated bit of work, how it fits into the overall picture. You really need to be very specific about what resources they require. And the last thing is really to give examples. Examples are really powerful in letting a creative narrow down what exactly is the tone and the feel or the look that you're going for. What I've loved about how GoGet has evolved is really the journey of it. We had no idea where it would go. We started extremely small, and when you start like that, every small win is a big win, and there's no real expectations about how big it was going to be. It was really about it working. We really are motivated by feedback from people that say this has actually made a difference to how we get around and a difference to our lives, and that aspect of it is really what we were looking to do in the first place. It's not just about a business, it's also about making some sort of change, and that's the exciting part to it. The thing that I love most about GoGet is the sense that your mistakes and also all your achievements are your own. The element of control that you have makes the whole thing rewarding. You know, you've only got yourself to blame for not doing something, but you've also got the tools and the resources to get up and actually, you know, execute something straight away. And I think, having worked in large corporations and in government, that inability to actually execute something on the spot, on the day, was something that was quite frustrating. And that's something I really love about GoGet, that you can actually get up in the morning and go, we're going to do this, and there's nothing stopping us.